When you think about terrifying creatures and monsters, you might have an expectation of them being weird and inhuman in shape, or maybe just large or destructive in nature. This makes the creature a bit predictable to the subconscious, as we would have already expected them to be strange in design. But what if these monsters are actually part human? Now that would add another layer of enigma or a weird feeling of both disgust and shock, as we would be internally conflicted as to how to view these or treat these creatures. Are they part of us, humanity, or are they just abominations? So here in this video we will do just that, and we will explore what we deem to be the 10 strangest and most terrifying human hybrids seen in movies. Let's get to them. At number 10 we have the Embokans from Dagon. The 2001 Spanish horror film called Dagon, directed by Stuart Gordon, takes heavy inspiration from H.P. Lovecraft's The Shadow over Innsmouth, reimagining a storyline but adapting it in the decaying Spanish fishing village of Emboka. The story follows a couple whose yacht is wrecked during a storm, forcing them to seek help in a desolate village. What initially appears to be a normal fishing settlement quickly unravels into something far darker, as Paul, one of the characters, discovers that the villagers known as the Embokans are not entirely human. They are twisted and malformed, with bulging eyes, slick skin, and gills, with some with tentacles, and even half of their bodies looking like squids or other sea creatures. The Embokans here are hybrids, created through generations of interbreeding between humans and the Deep Ones, which are aquatic beings who serve the monstrous sea god or great old one called Dagon. Much like the people of Innsmouth in Lovecraft's original story, they gave themselves to the Deep Ones in exchange for wealth, plentiful fish, and protection, only to be transformed over time into grotesque fish-like creatures, losing both their humanity and their freedom and becoming hybrids. Number 9. The Equisapiens from Sorry to Bother You. This is a surreal black comedy movie set in a dystopian near future following a man called Cassius Cash Green, a struggling telemarketer who discovers that adopting a white voice skyrockets his success and lands him a coveted position as a power caller. But his rise to wealth and status comes at the cost of his morality, as he uncovers that his company works with a mega corporation which uses lifetime contracts as a form of modern slavery. The darkest revelation comes when Cash stumbles upon the corporation's secret project, the creation of the Equisapiens, which are grotesque human horse hybrids engineered through gene-modifying drugs that warp workers into stronger, more obedient laborers designed to replace ordinary humans. These beings, with elongated faces, hooves, and an equine musculature, which means muscles like that of a horse, are enslaved and dehumanized, reflecting Lovecraftian body horror mixed with a biting satire about corporate greed and exploitation. Cash's horror at the Equisapiens becomes the turning point of the film, as he grapples with his complicity, tries to warn the world, and eventually takes part in an uprising alongside the very hybrids he sought to free, only to discover that he himself is slowly transforming into one of them. Number 8. The Peniston's creature from the 1998 miniseries called Creature is a nightmarish hybrid born from a secret military experiment that blended human with shark DNA in the pursuit of creating the ultimate predator. Designed as a weapon, it possesses massive razor-sharp or toothed head of a great white shark, fused to a disturbingly human-like torso, with a dorsal fin jutting out from its back and the ability to sprout arms and legs when needed. This grotesque genetic fusion makes it amphibious, able to hunt with terrifying efficiency both in the ocean and on land, as it can grow lungs for air breathing and limbs for pursuit. Beyond this physical prowess or dangerousness, the creature demonstrates a chilling level of intelligence and cunning as well, employing innovative strategies to stalk its prey rather than relying solely on brute instinct. Its existence embodies the horror of unchecked scientific tampering, taking the apex predator of the sea and forcing human traits into it, resulting in something neither fully man nor fully shark, but more dangerous than either. Number 7. Dren from Splice. So Splice is a science fiction horror film about two genetic engineers, Clive Nickley and Ella Cass, who defy their pharmaceutical employers by secretly creating a forbidden human-animal hybrid, only to unleash consequences they cannot control. Their creation, named Dren, rapidly grows from an experimental subject into a dangerous, unstable being that blurs the line between scientific breakthrough and abomination. Dren is created when Elsa secretly uses her own DNA in the couple's splicing experiments, combining it with a variety of animal genes to form something entirely new. From birth, she is visibly unnatural, hairless with slick pale skin, elongated limbs, webbed feet and large black eyes that give an alien bird-like quality. As she matures at an accelerated rate, her form becomes more humanoid, though still warped by animal traits. She has 4 fingers only on each hand, a barbed scorpion-like tail from behind, which is tipped with a venomous stinger, and also aquatic lungs that allow her to breathe underwater, and later, twisted insect-like wings that make her even more otherworldly. While her face and body reflects a strange, almost fragile beauty, her hybrid features mark her as something caught uneasily between human child and an apex predator. Number 6. The Swarm Thing. The Swarm Thing is a superhero TV series about Dr. Alec Holland, a scientist whose life's work in bioengineering is destroyed, leaving him transformed into a monstrous yet heroic creature bound to the natural world. The tale follows his struggle against those who would exploit his discovery, while he wrestles with the tragedy of losing his own humanity. The Swarm Thing was created when Dr. Alec Holland was attacked by mercenaries, who sought to steal his revolutionary bioregenerator formula. In the chaos, Alec was doused with the formula, set ablaze and thrown into the swarm surrounding his lab. Instead of dying, the chemical fuses human DNA with plant matter and the muck around him, birthing a humanoid hybrid of man and swarm. The Swarm Thing's body here is seen to be made of vines, roots, moss and mud, forming a grotesque yet humanoid, a human shape. This hybrid form grants him regenerative powers, the ability to command and reshape vegetation, and also near invulnerability. Yet it also forever separates him from his human identity, leaving him both as a guardian of nature, but also as a tragic figure. Number 5. The Offspring from Alien Romulus. This is one of the most disturbing hybrid abominations in the entire Alien franchise, the Xenomorph universe. Its origins lie with Kay Harrison in the movie Alien Romulus, who injected herself with the mutagenic compound called Z01, which is a derivative of the black pathogen, which was engineered by the engineers, the ancient space jockeys. Unknowingly, she was carrying a child, and her fetus became corrupted by the alien mutagen, gestating inside a grotesque cocoon that mimicked an ovomorph before being birthed alive. It grew at an impossible rate, very fast, reaching the towering height of an engineer within minutes, with a skeletal, crooked humanoid frame that looked both starved and overpowered. It is pale in coloration with dorsal tubes protruding from its spine and with a long whip-like tail. The most horrifying was its face, which was like an engineer but with raised ridges, with black pit-like eyes, and a disturbingly human-like mouth which was lined with metallic teeth. Yet beneath this human-like face lies a retractable inner jaw which is capable of piercing through metal or even suckling from its parent, its progenitor, and this alien hybrid was strong enough to tear through metal with ease. Straddling the valley between human, xenomorph and engineer, this offspring embodies the nightmare of tampering with things that are completely alien and incomprehensible to humans. Now we head to number 4, Kothoga from The Relic. The Kothoga from the movie The Relic is a monstrous hybrid born from a terrifying fusion of ancient tribal rituals with genetic mutation and human hubris. Its origins lie in a South American tribe that worship the Kothoga as a forest spirit, creating it through a ritual involving a special fungus that grows on a rare plant. This fungus is laced with hormones from multiple animal species like reptiles, mammals, and other insects, and when ingested by a human, it rewrites their DNA, mutating them into the Kothoga. Once the change begins, the victim loses their humanity both physically and psychologically, transforming into a predator that must feed on human hypothalamuses to survive, as they contain the same hormones the fungus provides. The creature itself is a terrifying amalgam, a reptilian in build with a long flexible tail, with a tiger-like posture, and a hide and a skull that's strong enough to deflect bullets. In the movie, it has enormous insect-like mandibles, a forked tongue as well, with sharp curving teeth and glowing green eyes, while still retaining subtle hidden of its human origins in its forehead and shoulders. It is fast, powerful, and unnervingly intelligent. The Kothoga is less a mindless monster and more like a cursed human evolution gone wrong, but laced with a bit of Lovecraftian horror. Now at number 3 we have Syl. Syl is the central alien-human hybrid from the movie Species and the franchise. He was the result of humanity's reckless ambition to merge alien and human biology. Her origins began when scientists at the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligences, or SETI, received 2 transmissions, one of which is provided with a complete alien genetic sequence along with detailed instructions on how to splice it with human DNA. Believing this to be a potential breakthrough for science and evolution, the researchers fertilized a human ovum with the alien DNA, creating a hybrid embryo that developed into a test subject known as Syl. In her alien form, which is designed by H.R. Geiger, still takes on a strikingly nightmarish yet elegant appearance as a tall, feminine form with glossy biomechanical skin, with ridged spines and black chitinous exoskeleton or armor. Her hair transforms into a nest of slick, prehensile tentacles, and she possesses 2 sets of teeth with a barbed, spear-like tongue which is capable of killing prey during her infamous kiss of death. Her alien physiology makes her both seductive and lethal, as her breasts conceal retractable tentacles as well, and her spine bristles with extendable blades. She seduces, she kills, and most of all, she seeks to fulfill her instincts to breed a new generation of alien-human hybrids that would subdue the world. Now on the second spot here we have the brundlefly. This was born out of a scientific experiment gone horribly wrong. So here we have Seth Brundle, a brilliant but eccentric scientist working for Bartok Industries in the movie called The Fly. And he developed a groundbreaking invention, teleportation pods capable of disassembling matter in one pod and reassembling it in another. After testing the technology on inanimate objects and then animals, he attempted to teleport himself to prove its success. However, during the process, he failed to notice a common housefly that had entered the pod with him. The computer, unable to distinguish between man and insect, merged their genetic codes together at a molecular level, creating a hybrid organism. At first, Seth seemed stronger, faster and healthier, but over time his body began to mutate in a grotesque and irreversible way. His skin became diseased and mottled, with thick bristles of coarse insect-like hair sprouting out from his flesh, with his fingernails losing and teeth falling out, and with an acidic vomit which replaced his digestive process. As the transformation progressed, Seth lost more of his humanity and his body reshaping into something hunched, a monstrous hybrid, an insectoid, an entity he would bitterly name the brundlefly. And at the number 1 spot we have the newborn from Alien Resurrection. This was the byproduct of the USM's cloning experiments in which scientists attempted to recreate Ellen Ripley in order to extract the xenomorph queen growing inside of her. Though they succeeded, the process resulted in genetic contamination as human DNA blended with the alien strain. This caused the queen to develop a new reproductive cycle, to develop a womb, and gave birth to the newborn. Now this alien hybrid bears a nightmarish mix of human and alien traits. Standing taller at 3 meters and bulkier than a standard warrior, it had pale fleshy skin instead of the xenomorph's biomechanical black exoskeleton, which makes it look eerily human in its texture. Its elongated skull was shortened quite a bit, but merged into its back, and unlike its eyeless brethren, the newborn had sunken human-like eyes, with nostrils without a nose and a grotesque mouth which is filled with jagged fangs that resemble twisted human teeth rather than the metallic alien ones. Walking upright in a disturbingly human stance, it radiated a sense of wrongness, too human to be alien, but too alien to be human. Perhaps most chilling was the newborn's capacity for emotion, as it imprinted on Ripley 8 as its mother, showing her a warped sort of affection which was kinda disgusting, while lashing out with childlike rage and violence at others, killing for fun. In short, to me, the newborn is horror incarnate and one that deserves to be on the top spot here in this list. And so with that we end this video on the most terrifying human hybrids in movies and shows. Now if you like this video then watch this other one too, the one in the end screens, and do hit that like button for support. And for the ones viewing this in their phones, do press that hype option for hyping up the video to other viewers. Also subscribe and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, fam.